Welcome to your monthly tarot for June. My name's Allie and I'm your friendly mystic. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. This reading is intended for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, but also any other prominent Cancer placements you might have. This reading is timeless, so don't worry about finding it a year from now, a month from now. It is meant to find you when it's meant to find you. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. And as these readings are very general, so a reading may not apply 100% to you. I set the intention that these be for the people who need to hear them. Okay. I think without that out of the way, it's time to get into your reading, Cancer. Alright. Spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, please help me to connect with the collective of Cancer and communicate any messages that they need to hear for their highest good. We thank you in advance for the messages that we are about to receive. Okay. What does Cancer need to hear? So the first card out is the Knight of Wands. Oh, that's better. So I think we feel unusually fiery. Well, it has a lot of cardinal energy, that's for certain. Cancer is a cardinal water sign. You like to initiate things. You tend to initiate things with an emotion or a passion. Cancer in general has the ability to change the mood of the room. There's some impulsivity here. Let's see. Ooh. I'll take. Ooh, that's a lot. We'll take it. It's just going to take a while to decipher. So, second card out is the Four of Swords reversed. And with the Knight of Wands, that's telling me that you've come out of a deep rest period. That you were in this Four of Swords energy. You were really laying down the groundwork and doing the internal work. It's interesting because this is very masculine energy, which is unusual for Cancers in general, at least people who have heavy Cancer placements. I like to remind people that we have all of the zodiac in our chart, not just our Sun, Moon, or Rising, or even if we have a stellium, we still have placements, other placements, and all the zodiac in our chart. Anyway, that's beside the point. I feel like you've been doing a lot of the mental groundwork and the mental rest and reset, especially with this. We at the beginning of June here, which my videos are coming out late because of course they are because of Mercury retrograde, but finally on June 3rd, Mercury stations direct. So I feel like you're really taking that retrograde period to reevaluate what it is that you're thinking, the things that you're saying, even the logic that you're using to take action. And I say take action because Knight of Wands. Okay. Interesting. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So this may have related to something that we left behind in the past. Okay, so actually what I'm seeing here is that you were resting from an Eight of Cups experience. So there was something that you finally realized it wasn't going to bring you satisfaction. The Eight of Cups often is one of the more difficult moments in the minor arcana and the cups storyline. Beside the five is also considered very difficult, but it's that moment where you've built all of this up and you realize something is missing. So I think you left that, and so you had to take this time to recalibrate and really find out what it is that motivated you. In fact, I feel as though that was a karmic cycle. Either finally getting over a cycle that you were in regards to what was left behind, something from the past. Whenever I see the Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune together, it really brings that up for me. So something from the past that was really, perhaps really enticing at the time, because often we see the Wheel of Fortune as a Jupiterian card, something that we really wanted, something that felt generous, like something that felt good, right? Something that felt good, but it was never meant to serve you in the long run. I feel that how do I explain this? Either this has already happened, you've left that Eight of Cups, you've already had your Eight of Cups moment where you've left behind something, or you're needing to do that so that you can get into this Knight of Wands energy. And likely that will take you through the Mercury retrograde period, until Mercury moves past its retrograde shadow. So something from the past that you've left behind, something that before was very enticing and a gift that you, like, it was a gift at the time, and it served its intention. So it was like, I feel like the Eight of Cups is often something that we feel is great for us for a while, and then something shifts and we realize it's not the end goal. It's not the finish line. And then we have Strength upright with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So with this, I'm getting the sense this has more to do with the new venture you're taking. That despite the difficulty you had, because you had to let go of something you were trying to manifest. You had to let go of a lot of, there's just a lot of letting go in general, but it wasn't just an emotional letting go. There was something you were planting and trying to bring to fruit, and because you realized that you were not fulfilled by the direction you were going in, you basically had to start from scratch. Often when I see the Seven of Pentacles, I see improperly laid seeds, or seeds that we realize after they've started to grow that we actually no longer want to manifest what it was. But I feel like this is giving you, I feel like you're holding strong with it, or Spirit is asking you to do so. You've already, like, the ability to get to the Seven of Pentacles and get to the Eight of Cups and say, no, this isn't, like, a lot of people they have to get to the 10, to the completion, before they realize that's not what they want. But you were able to pivot and release what it was that you spent so much energy in. And that takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of grace, even. And I see the Strength card as grace. Because it takes a lot of strength to be grace. To have grace. Especially in the overwhelming, especially in the face of overwhelming loss. I'm getting, like, it feels like a divine redirection. Kind of like you were, like if you had, let's say you had like a route, and like your GPS had a route on it, and you were like, okay, I know exactly where I'm going, and then you realize you have to change direction or change destination, like, more than halfway through the trip, and now you're rerouted. Now you have to take a detour. Now you have to adjust. And I see that either you are or you will be able to do so. And it's putting you in a really great energy. I feel like the Knight of Wands, I feel like this is something that's already happened for most of you. Some of you, not so much. But that's okay, because you'll get here. Anything else, Spirit? I also feel that there was a lot of temptation to go back. A lot of temptation to go back. Woo! Let's keep this one and this one, but not these. Thank you. And it gave me an extra. That's so funny. Try to take 2 cards. Spirit said, here's 3. So I have the High Priest, the Empress in reverse, and then the Page of Pentacles. So this is interesting. I feel like for some of you, this is a family dynamic. Especially with these 2 major arcana cards coming out, it really feels as though there's an elder figure. This could be a grandfather or a grandmother, someone who is really, this could be somebody who is fairly religious and in some way kind of controlling or trying to dominate and control the Empress and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. See, I don't know if dominate and control is really the right word, as much as they're trying to... There's some feeling that these 2 need to be reined in, that there is some off behavior or some destructive behavior, and this High Priest is trying to advise them. So for some people, I think it is like they use traditional methods and are very rooted in old ways of thinking, so it can come off as very... It's a little patriarchal, but I think this person has fairly good intentions, even if you don't necessarily agree with their way of doing things. But then the Empress and the Page of Pentacles are both in reverse. So this could be a mother and a child relationship that's difficult. And I deal with the Empress and the fact that it's these both relate to Earth, like the Empress and the Page of Pentacles are both earthy, that the disagreement has something to do with either material, finances, resources, maybe even quality time, like the effort and the energy that it takes in the physical body to be with somebody, and the time as a resource. I can see an estranged mother. Now, for a lot of you, this is not going to be a family dynamic. For many of you, I would see the Page of Pentacles and the Empress reversed as... okay, so it still can relate to family issues, but it's not necessarily active. Like, it's not like you're actively having a difficult time with your mother. What I'm feeling more prominently is that your mother's attitudes around finances and abundance and value have really affected your way of... If I'm going to identify you as the Page of Pentacles, which probably based on the audience of tarot YouTube readings, it's a fairly easy one to make, that you're carrying a lot of that old baggage. And the father figure, or the fathering energy, is also... what's the word? Also is kind of the energy of like, well, you have to go. It gives me the practical, traditional, known routes, like not even known routes, but like expected routes to success. The get a 9 to 5 job and do the work. This is also a Taurus card. I'm remembering correctly. I think I think I've been doing this for 5 years and I can't remember. There's 78 cards. Give me a break. But it's very practical, down to earth. It's traditional knowledge, or at least traditional ways of being that, and old institutions, relying on old institutions to give you the success that you're looking for. But that, I think we all know that script doesn't work, right? That's not really. I find that sort of financial advice can be a trap when it's not used in concert with proper intention holding, intention directing, or yeah, I guess holding is the right word. But let's keep looking at these cards. And okay. And perhaps for some of you, you went from this page energy. In fact, maybe this is what you left behind. Maybe for some of you, it's either you're still dealing with that, and this is the thing you have to leave behind, or the realization you came to as a result of this Eight of Cups moment and the letting go and the releasing, that you realize during Mercury retrograde, especially with Mercury retrograding back into Taurus, to highlight how you engage with and handle the material, the finances, not even just money, but what it is that you do to sustain life. And you went through the mental reevaluation during this time to get there. Well, I love that. Let's see. Anything else, Spirit? I tried to use like a TikTok filter, green screen, and it couldn't recognize that my hair was real or part of my body. So I just looked bald. Okay. No more giving up. Anything else for Cancer? Any advice for Cancer? This really just feels like a confirmation reading for a lot of you that, like, yes, that was the right decision. It's time. Yeah, especially with the Six of Cups reversed. It's like the end of a karmic contract or like a soul contract you made. You've come to the end of that, which is great. I love seeing that. Anything else? Any advice? I'm feeling like it might be a no. Let's just. Usually a card comes a little sooner than this. Huh! Oh. That's too many, Spirit. That's so funny. They're like, well, how many do you want? I'll take this one. Ooh. Yes. I love that. I think we'll just take this one card. So, we have the High Priestess and the High Priest out. So, you're stepping out of old ways. Like, with these two cards together, what I'm really, trying to communicate, like what it's trying to communicate to me, and I'm just trying to find the words to do it, is that instead of relying on outer processes to gain insight, this is like, it's more religiosity, and then the High Priestess is more spirituality. I don't know if that quite clicks for some people, but that's the best way I can get it. So you're stepping out of like, it's kind of like, oh, I go to church. It's not necessarily this, but this is the energy and the archetype I'm trying to explain. But with the high priest, it's more of like, well, if I go every day to church, or not every day, but if I pray every day, I go to church on Sundays, I have my routine, the outer action of spiritual learning, or not even learning necessarily, just like action, external, you're really turning inward. You're not just relying on the wisdom given to you by an institution or the wisdom given to you by someone else. You're stepping into your inner wisdom because you had to let go of a really old, I mean, from childhood at least, paradigm around finances. And there's a good number of major arcana on this. So this is a major life lesson for you. You're stepping out of traditional wisdom into intuition. So you'll be able to have the discernment to know whether this traditional wisdom that serves many very well, right? Let's just say that this isn't necessary. A lot of people have a really negative connotation of what the high priest or the hierophant means because they're like, oh, it's like church, you know? But there's a lot of the high priest holds the gnosis and the teachings of esoteric wisdom, whereas the high priestess embodies and has an embodied experience of it. This is a very different, these are two different ways of knowing the same information. And the high priest serves on the external, and provides order and structure to the learning, whereas the high priestess is a lot more loosey-goosey, and I think they work best in concert together, personally. So, but before, I don't feel like you had that. I think you were just relying on being told what to do, what to believe, and I don't believe it was out of malice. It almost never is, really. I don't think, I'm not the type to believe in most anything is out of malice, personally, but now you have the internal knowing and the internal intuition or discernment, inner knowing, right? To have the discernment to be able to decide what comes in. The high priestess also she's the guardian of the veil. She stands between you and the other side, to the unknown, to secrets, you know, the other realm. So you need her permission in order to cross. But so now you are the high priestess to your own inner knowing, and so you get to say, no, that doesn't align with me. I no longer accept that. I renounce it. That is someone else's truth, but it's not my truth. Okay. Cancer, I think that's your reading. You know, it's interesting that we have a zodiac named Cancer and a disease named Cancer. It always feels a little odd. But Cancer, I hope you liked your tarot reading. If you liked it, please leave a little thumbs up down there. Click all my buttons. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. And if you'd like, you can book a personal reading with me on friendlymystic.com. Either sending an email to hit me up at friendlymystic.com.